Yet there is a place in China where setting foot feels like stepping back thousands of years in history, where one might don the robes of a Qin dynasty empress or a Tang dynasty swordsman. It is none other than Hengdian. A land proudly and freely nicknamed the Hollywood of China. Modestly nestled in Dongyang in Zhejiang province, Hengdian isn't famous for picturesque landscapes or genuinely ancient architecture. Instead, it captures hearts with something extraordinary, a grand illusion born from human imagination and craftsmanship. Constructing an entire world of palaces, fortresses, ancient markets, and time-worn roads, all built as film sets, yet so realistic that one forgets they're in the modern world. The story began in 1996, when a visionary entrepreneur named Xu Wenrong decided to build a film set for the historical drama The Opium War. No one could have imagined that an entire cinematic empire would emerge from that idea. Hengdian gradually expanded with each frame of film, with each dream of directors and producers. And today it has become the largest film studio complex in the world. Covering more than 30 million square meters, a figure unimaginable for any other film studio on Earth. Anyone who loved Chinese historical dramas has probably seen Hengdian, whether they realized it or not. The palaces in The Legend of the Condor Heroes, the Republican-era alleys in Romance in the Rain, or the majestic settings in dramas about Wu Zetian were all filmed here. In this very land, past and present quietly coexist, every stone slab, every roof tile, even the sky itself seems cloaked in the patina of time, drawing viewers into a world that is both real and dreamlike. Getting to Hengdian isn't an arduous journey. From major cities like Shanghai, Hangzhou, or Ningbo, visitors can easily take a high-speed train to Dongyang or Yiwu, and from there, a short ride by taxi or bus brings them to the site. While the road to Hengdian isn't treacherous, the feeling is akin to stepping into a time tunnel. As you get closer, ancient fortresses gradually emerge through the mist. Flags flutter on towering walls, and curved roof tiles seem to await an epic battle or the start of a love story. Once you arrive, a galaxy of cinema opens before your eyes. Hengdian is divided into multiple areas, each recreating a different dynasty, era, or cultural scene. These include the Qin Palace, a reconstruction of the Epong Palace reflecting the majesty of China's first empire, the glorious Tang Palace, mirroring the splendor of ancient Chang'an, the Grand Ming and Qing palaces, where countless palace intrigue dramas were filmed, and the Republican Street, evoking the romantic yet sorrowful vibe of 1930s Shanghai. But Hengdian isn't only for filmmaking, it's also a paradise for experiential tourism. Visitors can rent historical costumes and transform into generals, noblemen, or concubines as if stepping out of a classical painting. Walking through massive palace grounds with traditional music softly playing creates the illusion of truly living in another era. There are imperial parades, martial arts demonstrations, and even reality shows where tourists can act as extras, an experience perhaps unmatched anywhere else. The food in Hengdian is equally diverse. While admiring the faux historical architecture, visitors can stop by old-style eateries to enjoy beef noodles, stinky tofu, or longjing tea, simple yet richly flavored dishes from the Zhejiang region. Hotels around the film studio cater to every detail, offering traditionally designed rooms and special packages such as free costume rentals for long-term guests. Hengdian is not just a place for making films, it's where people live history. where the past is reconstructed through art, where every brick is soaked in the sweat of artisans, and every step a tourist takes could become its cinematic frame. A journey to Hengdian feels like a time-traveling adventure, no time machine required. Just a train ticket, a pair of eyes ready to observe, and a heart open to the beauty of memories and illusions. Here, time doesn't flow by the usual rules, it swirls around every roof tile, wall, and glance of a film lover lost in wonder. The gates to the Qin Palace open like a majestic slice through modernity and antiquity. Before you rise towering city walls, their dark red bricks bathed in the evening sun, blending earth and blood. Silk banners flap in the wind atop the gates, evoking images of mighty armies once marching through, not real, yet somehow chilling, as if hoofbeats and war drums still echo. The Qin Palace, the heart of Hengdian, recreates the imperial palace of the Qin dynasty. The first to unify mainland China, architects and filmmakers didn't merely copy an ancient structure when building this area. They resurrected a dream of power, an imperial intoxication centered around the image of the Epong Palace, a symbol of ancient luxury and might. Though the original structure was destroyed more than 2,000 years ago, in Hengdian, the Epong Palace has been recreated with boundless imagination and deep reverence. Towering rows of red-painted columns, sweeping tiled roofs reaching toward the heavens, and vast ceremonial halls so immense that even a lone visitor feels like a mere speck of dust in history. Walking through this place, visitors are often overwhelmed by the grandeur of the main halls, the Grand Court Hall, where the emperor once held court. With the throne at its center and rows of officials bowing at his feet, everything so vividly reconstructed that it moves many to emotion. The Qin Palace area is especially remarkable because light and space blend like an ancient symphony. In the morning, sunlight pierces through massive columns, casting long, cold beams of light that make one feel like a court official entering the palace to await the emperor. In the afternoon, the slanting golden light gilds thousands of tiles, illuminating a waning grandeur, and at night, lanterns are lit, transporting viewers into a world of palace intrigue and hidden secrets. Dozens of famous historical dramas have been filmed here, from hero, Zhang Yimou, to Emperor Wu of Han, Qin Shi Huang, Schemes of a Beauty, and countless others that have etched unforgettable images into viewers' minds. Standing in this setting, visitors can't help but feel like part of the story, as if the past is still being written with every step they take. Leaving behind the solemn and somewhat oppressive atmosphere of the Qin dynasty, the journey continues to another world, the Tang dynasty's Chang'an district. Recreated with no less splendor, Chang'an, the capital during the reigns of Emperor Taizong and Empress Wu Zetian, was once hailed as the most magnificent capital in medieval Asia. In Hengdian, a part of Chang'an has been brought back to life in bustling streets. Black tiled mansions, bell towers, and pavilions stretching as far as the eye can see. Unlike the imposing nature of the Qin Palace, Chang'an exudes vibrancy and color. One might see silk-clad courtesans dancing under lantern lights, scholars debating over cups of peach wine, or merchants from the western regions traveling on camelback through white stone alleys. Every step here feels like entering an endless scroll painting, where tales of love, political intrigue, or simply the unspeakable beauty of Tang culture unfold without end. A special feature of the Chang'an area is the opportunity to take part in live performances reenacting imperial life, a grand procession of the empress, a solemn ritual ceremony, or a rendition of the famous dance, rainbow skirt and feathered gown, which legend says was once performed by Lady Yang. Tourists are not just spectators, they become part of the spectacle, transforming into palace guards, concubines, or lively passers-by. Strolling around the pavilions of Chang'an at night is an experience not to be missed. Lanterns glow like fireflies lost in time, their reflections shimmering on the small lakes within the city walls, where sometimes a dragon boat drifts past, carrying musicians playing the pipa and singing ancient songs that stir the soul. Perhaps here, Hengdian ceases to be just a film set and becomes a living time machine. It not only reconstructs space but awakens emotion. People come to look, feel, imagine, and live alongside a bygone era. If Hengdian is a visual epic, then the Ming and Qing Palace area is the chapter that tells the story of the final dynasties of imperial China. Stepping into this zone feels like time halts at the Crimson Gates. Amid the echoing hooves on stone courtyards and the gentle fluttering of silk curtains in the wind. This is the reconstructed Forbidden City, the seat of supreme power in China for over 500 years. From afar, the Ming and Qing Palace looks like a maze of golden roofs. Hidden within towering, impenetrable walls, a symbol of untouchable authority. But up close, every small detail reveals the lives of those behind the curtains. Each palace hall is meticulously built according to authentic imperial architecture, the Grand Meridian Gate, the resplendent Hall of Supreme Harmony, the long corridors connecting the quarters of palace maids and concubines, all reminiscent of palace dramas that once captivated millions. Such as Empresses in the Palace, Story of Yanqi Palace, and Rui's Royal Love in the Palace. Beyond its grand scale, the Ming and Qing Palace comes alive through daily performances, the Emperor's enthronement ceremony, the Imperial Beauty Selection, or scenes of concubines competing in dance and song, all staged as if history is repeating itself before the audience's eyes. Visitors are not merely observers, they can rent Ming or Qing dynasty costumes and fully immerse themselves in the royal world. That moment when you stand on the white stone steps, with golden rooftops behind you and a row of palace guards ahead, is no longer just tourism, it's a vivid, realistic, and utterly enchanting experience. Yet history doesn't stop at the Golden Palace roofs. Just through another city gate, you're suddenly thrown into the whirlwind of the 20th century, where the Republican street calls out with the sound of rickshaw whistles, the soft glow of gas lamps, and the nostalgic melodies playing from a gramophone tucked into the corner of a tea house. If the Ming and Qing Palace exudes power and solemnity, then Republican Street is a nostalgic love song. This street delicately recreates Shanghai and Beijing during the 1920s to 1930s. When Eastern and Western cultures intermingled, when gentlemen wore Western suits and ladies with wavy hair strolled under romantic maple trees in floral silk chansons. On both sides of the street stand rows of buildings in French, British, and Japanese architectural styles, banks, post offices, pharmacies, hotels, theaters. Every stained glass window and wrought iron balcony is carefully crafted. Classic Ford-style cars line the streets. And from time to time, the ringing bell of a tram passing by makes the scene feel like a frame from an old black and white film. Republican Street is not just a filming location but a real-life stage. You can witness live performances reenacting life during the Republican era, a traditional wedding, a thrilling mystery involving detectives and police, or classical musical performances. There's even a French-style cafe where you can sip an espresso while watching people pass by, dressed like elegant socialites and young gentlemen from decades past. Many famous films have been shot here: The Bund, the Peking Opera Blues, The Grand Master, and countless reality TV shows that chose this location as their backdrop. Especially at night, the street glows warmly under a system of golden lights reflecting off antique square brick pavements, creating a dreamlike setting that makes it hard for anyone to leave. There's something unique in the atmosphere here, not overly lavish, but far from modest. It carries the quiet introspection of bygone years, something wistful and dreamlike, like the lingering smoke of pipe tobacco in an old tea house, or the mournful singing of a lady playing the zither on a balcony. Someone once said, Republican Street in Hengdian is not a place to merely look at, it's a place to reminisce. To reflect on the past, not just of a nation, but of one's soul. As the golden lights of Republican Street gradually fade behind, Hengdian unveils another world, simpler, quieter, yet no less enchanting. The Song Dynasty and Shangzhou city areas, recreating urban life during the northern and southern Song periods. Along with traditional villages like Hongmen and Gojong. Unlike the grandeur of the royal palaces, this area welcomes you with the sounds of everyday life, the calls between blacksmith shops, the jingling of snack vendors, and the whistling of kites soaring into the sky from a smiling child's hands. This isn't a place of battles, but a space that preserves the breath of human life, where every street corner is a vivid, authentic slice of ancient society. Hangzhou City is built in the northern Song architectural style, with worn blue stone streets, yin-yang tiled rooftops, white plaster walls, and dark wooden doors. The atmosphere evokes classic ink-wash paintings or serialized historical novels like Water Margin, Investiture of the Gods, or Three Heroes of the Song Dynasty. Interestingly, many famous wuxia dramas, from demigods and semi-devils, The Smiling, Proud Wanderer, to Legend of Lu Zhen, have borrowed Hangzhou City as their primary setting. You can wander through the old-style markets, where the stalls offer everything from paper lanterns, hand fans, and fabrics to traditional medicinal herbs. Vendors dress in period costumes and speak and act traditionally, waving bamboo fans and calling out in the old Zhongnan accent. Occasionally, you'll come across a group of folk performers staging crosstalk comedy, water puppetry, or lion dances, not for show, but as if they truly belong to the time. Leaving Hangzhou City, a slight turn leads you into ancient village replicas that portray rural life in China hundreds of years ago. Hongmen Village emerges beneath old trees, with rooftops peeking through bamboo groves and winding village paths along a small stream. The tranquility here is so complete that you can hear the babbling brook, the birdsong on the temple roof, and even the gentle clack of wooden clogs keeping pace with the countryside rhythm. What's magical about Hengdian's ancient villages is that every small detail is faithfully recreated, from village wells with wooden buckets, stone mills, and pottery kilns, to real rice paddies planted in season. Visitors can join hands on experiences like grinding flour, spinning lanterns, cooking traditional rice cakes, or hand-weaving cloth. This isn't just tourism, a rare chance to touch folk culture and understand the ways of life that nurtured generations. In particular, Gojia Village features wealthy households with intricately carved wooden architecture and inner courtyards with skylights, where wine banquets and folk duets between young villagers are held, an authentic cultural trait of this era. This place has been the setting for many family-themed films such as Dream of the Red Chamber, New Jade Goddess of Mercy, Palace 2, The Lockhart Jade. When dusk settles over the old village, lanterns hanging on eaves gradually light up, their pinkish glow shimmering in the twilight mist. reflecting off white walls as if whispering secrets from 1,000 years ago. Perhaps it is this moment, when reality and memory dissolve into each other, that Hengdian becomes most captivating. Someone once said, if palaces are where emperors wrote history, then villages are where ordinary people wrote memory. And in Hengdian, these two worlds do not oppose each other, they harmonize like yin and yang. Rivers and mountains, time and cinema. From the peaceful countryside, the stone path leads us into another world, older, deeper in time. Here, Hengdian no longer tells stories of royal power or urban color but begins to touch upon dynasties that profoundly influenced knowledge, philosophy, and learning, where ancient thought and culture blossom. First, we step into the Western Han film set, recreating the era of Emperor Gaozu Lu Bang, Emperor Wu of Han, and figures like Zhang Qian, who opened the famed Silk Road. The space here carries an austere grandeur, fortresses made of dark gray bricks, city gates engraved with images of birds and flying dragons, symbols of early spiritual beliefs blending Confucianism, Taoism, and legalism. The atmosphere here contrasts starkly with the luxurious palace zones. It is rustic yet majestic, reflecting the spirit of the Western Han, simple, but not lacking in strength. The structures are built in a military and administrative style, including observatories, martial arts training yards, barracks, residences, and ancestral temples. For history enthusiasts, this is paradise. No place in the world allows one to walk through buildings faithfully modeled after archaeological documents. Leaving the Western Han, the road leads us downstream into an era of cultural refinement, the Northern Song dynasty. If the Western Han was renowned for its military expansion and territorial influence, the Northern Song left its mark through exceptional cultural, arts, and scholarship developments. The Northern Song area of Hengdian is designed as an ideal ancient capital, featuring an administrative center, libraries, commercial streets, and Confucian academies harmoniously distributed within a classical layout. Visitors will encounter rows of elm and willow trees interspersed with small stone bridges spanning gentle canals. The space is crafted in the style of an inkwash painting, water, stone, trees, and people blending into one. A small street recreates scenes of scholars and literati gathered at a tea house, discussing poetry and philosophy. At the same time, across the way, traditional musicians perform serene melodies with guqin, bamboo flute, and pipa. What makes the Northern Song area in Hengdian especially unique are the vivid portrayals of everyday life. An herbal medicine shop lined with ceramic jars, an ink painting studio, and a Confucian library complete with inkstones, brush pens, and replicas of the 4 books and 5 classics. It's the perfect setting for visitors to transform into scholarly characters, wearing long robes, square headscarves, holding ancient scrolls, as if living in the world of Shaoyang, Ouyang Shu, or Su Dongpo. Continuing along the timeline, we enter one of China's most glorious yet sorrowful periods, the Southern Song dynasty. After the capital Bianjing fell to the Jurchen Jin, the Song court was forced to move south, beginning a historical chapter of resilience and tragic beauty. At Hengdian, the Southern Song area embodies that spirit, elegant yet nostalgic and wistful. This scene is often characterized by low buildings with black tiled roofs, white walls, and moss-covered courtyards, hallmarks of Zhongnan architecture during the Southern Song. The space radiates calmness, grace, and inner strength, matching the tone of a fading yet dignified empire. Small riverside alleys, where boats pass carrying goods, people, and poetry, add to the area's poetic charm. The Southern Song was also a golden age for maritime trade, commerce, and civil culture, and this is vividly depicted here. Floating markets, riverside eateries, silk and porcelain shops, herbal medicine stalls, all brought to life as though one has truly entered an ancient marketplace. One commendable aspect is Hengdian's clever blend of visual culture and interactive experience. Each zone offers mini performances, recreations of imperial examinations, receiving foreign envoys, lantern festivals, or traditional folk dances of the era. The feeling of no longer being just a spectator, but a participant, is what sets Hengdian apart from any conventional historical museum. Sometimes, when the sky is overcast and mist blankets the lake in ancient stone paths, with lantern shadows flickering through incense smoke, visitors feel as if they're truly time traveling, walking through a historical corridor built not only with wood and stone, but with imagination, meticulous craftsmanship, and deep cultural reverence from a team of artists, architects, and filmmakers. Like a grand stage, Hengdian shines not only through its scenery, architecture, and historical atmosphere. Its greatest wonder, and also the part few ever see, is its vast, intricate behind-the-scenes system, where each film is conceived, every shot prepared like a ritual, and every detail, from a single lamp to a scuff mark on the ground, carries a specific reason to exist. At the heart of the studio complex are the post-production, visual effects, sound, and costume departments, organized as tightly as an independent city. Often referred to as the silent heart of Hengdian, this area isn't for the spotlight, but for those behind it, the directors, screenwriters, set designers, lighting technicians, those who tirelessly bring to life the vibrant fantasy worlds seen throughout. One of the most remarkable sites is the Hengdian World Studios production center. In this place, anything can be built from scratch: artificial deserts, secret tunnels, even artificial snowstorms in summer heat. This is where sci-fi, fairy tale, and fantasy historical films come to life, not just by artistic hands, but with the aid of science and modern technology. Here, you might see green screen studios spanning hundreds of square meters, where actors perform in front of a blank canvas. The entire imperial palaces or epic battlefields are later painted behind them using CGI. Giant wind machines, high-powered lighting rigs, and robot-controlled cameras programmed with extreme precision all operate in harmony like a silent symphony of cinema. In the makeup and costume departments, thousands of outfits are hung by era, dynasty, character type, and even personality. Some garments take 3 months to make by hand, to appear for 30 seconds on screen. Each speck of dirt, fake blood stain, and collar fold is adjusted down to the millimeter, all for one goal: to convince the audience that they truly exist in another world. This place is also a beloved destination for film schools, young filmmakers, and photographers looking to learn or seek inspiration. Many well-known actors began their careers here as extras, prop assistants, costume tailors, and step-by-step worked their way toward greater glory. Hengdian, more than a studio, is a crucible of dreams. More importantly, Hengdian doesn't just survive on its past, it continues to evolve and expand. The studio recently added zones replicating ancient Rome, Edo period Japan, and 19th-century Western towns to accommodate international co-productions. Some scenes from Hollywood films like The Great Wall, Zhang Yimou, and the live-action Mulan were also filmed here. A testament to the growing global reach of the Hollywood of the East. Here too, visitors can register for acting experiences, film a short movie, or observe real film shoots in progress. The feeling of standing behind the camera, hearing the director shout, "Action!" Watching the cameras roll and actors embody their roles, it's a heart-pounding experience. As if you were living within the film. And then, when night falls, the backstage fades into silence. Period costumes are neatly stored. The film lights go out, and the stage returns to its untouched form. But the moment a line is spoken, a prop is set upon the stage, Hengdian comes alive once more. Ready to tell stories that have never been told. And just like that, our journey through Hengdian, the Hollywood of China, has ended. I hope today's video has taken you on a stroll through ancient palaces, Republican-era streets, and scenes straight out of a martial arts epic. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit like, share it with your fellow historical drama lovers, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming adventures. Which spot in Hengdian did you like the most? Or is there something you'd like me to experience in a future video? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for staying with me until the end of the video. See you again on our next journey. Goodbye, and have a day full of energy.